G'day viewers, welcome to this week's PB's Retro Restorations. Now most of you are probably aware of Stranger Things, the TV show, and Chief Jim Hopper and his 1980 Chevrolet K5 Blazer. It's pretty much the biggest show on the planet at the moment. So I bought myself this 1/43rd scale diecast truck. It's put out by Jada Toys, who hold the license for Stranger Things at the moment. They also make a 1/18th scale of this, and they also make Billy's Camaro in both those scales as well. So as you can see, as it spins around, the wheels are all chrome, the grille is all chrome, the bumpers are chrome. It's got little Stranger Things stickers instead of the proper Indiana license plates. Just the canopy is cream coloured. I think it's white in the show. You know, the latch on the back isn't painted. Just lots of little things, and I thought, you know what? Maybe with a little bit of detailing we can look a little bit more show accurate. I'm not going to be able to make it 100% accurate, and you can see the headlights here are much bigger than they are on the model, but I think we can do a lot better. So I'm not actually going to strip the paint on this. I'm just going to pull it apart, see what parts can be detailed, and make it look a little bit more like it does on the telly. So let's get crack-a-lackin', as they say in Hawkins, Indiana. Probably, maybe. I bet they say it in the upside down. Anyway, let's see if we can't make Hopper's ride look a little bit more TV accurate. So it comes apart quite easily with just 2 Phillips head screws, which is a lot easier than some of the other cars I usually work on. And it looks as though those bumpers are separate pieces as well, which should make them easy to take off and improve. Wheels just come out, the tyres just come off, and boom, yep, push them off onto the axle, not off the axle. Good job, Peter. Interior just pops out. Those seats are actually a separate piece as well. The rear of the canopy is held on by 2 Phillips head screws as well, but the front of it is held on with melted plastic tabs, which we'll work out in a moment. So while the back of the canopy is held on with screws, the front is actually held through the body by plastic welds between the glass and the canopy, so that was a bit of excitement. Now watch as I try and stab my hand with a Phillips head screwdriver. So disappointingly, viewers, I didn't put the screwdriver through my hand, so I thought I'd have a go at slicing my fingers off with the Stanley knife instead. I am a genius. Anyway, the front comes off, and the glass piece for the headlights is actually separate to the grille, which was kind of cool. And they aren't really terribly accurate, the headlights. They obviously made it cheaply, so they can just chuck the grille in upside down, wrong way round, it won't matter on the assembly line. Now I was going to remove these bumpers, and I thought, no, let's keep it simple, just leave them on and I'll spray paint them while they're on there. Now to get rid of these little stickers. So initially I was going to use this flat clear coat on the bumpers, the grille and the wheels, and I did end up using it on the grille, but I did end up repainting it because it didn't really work, and so I basically ended up with just the bumpers being done because I ended up repainting the wheels as well. So you might be able to see there, I had spray painted that flat coat clear on the wheels, but they look like trash, they were terrible. So I used some Citadel black spray paint and just sprayed the wheels black, and I will hand draw the hubcaps in chrome. So I airbrushed the grille silver, and then I filled in the vents with some black acrylic craft paint, and before it gets too dry I wipe it off with a Q-tip or an earbud, whichever you prefer, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic. I hand coloured in the bow tie with a gel tip pen. Now I'm using some super glue to put the grill assembly back in. I think you'll agree that it's looking much better already. So the light bar wasn't terribly well painted. The centerpiece was clear instead of being chrome, and the blue side didn't quite line up, so I had to touch that up later on as well. Now here I am painting the canopy white. I'm pretty sure it's white in the show. It's a bit hard to tell sometimes. And I'm using my iron lac pen just to colour in the black edge of the rubbers around the windows in the canopy, like they are on the show. And using my Molotow pen to colour in the windscreen wipers, not that you can really see them, and doing a little bit more reassembly. Now I'm going to use white glue here so it doesn't craze all the clear plastic windows, as super glue often can and will and does. Just slap these tyres back on. They put up a little bit of a fight, viewers. Now I'm going to rough up the tread with some sanding sticks just to give them a little bit more of a weathered look. I tried having a look at some episodes to see what colour the interior was, and sometimes it even looked like it might have been dark green, but I don't think it was black, and I thought the tan would look a little bit better, so tan it is. I'm pretty much addicted to black wash. I put it on everything. Just try and give the seats a little bit more definition. It also makes them look a little bit more vinyl-y, if that's such a thing. So I brush it on and I'll rub it off and try and give it a bit of patination or patina or whatever you want to call it. So after giving the dashboard a bit more depth, I'm colouring in the gauges with my 1mm Molotow pen. And again with the Molotow pen, just colouring in the handle on the tailgate, just to make it look a little bit better. When that's all done and dry, it's time for some reassembly. The door panel's just like pushed back on, and I use a bit of white glue for the other parts that need it. I should have left the seats out of it until I was ready to put my little added extras in, but anyway, here are the added extras. Everyone knows that Elle loves Eggos and Hopper likes to get her boxes of Eggos, so I'm going to make some little mini Eggo boxes to stick on the passenger seat like he's just picked them up from the store for her. So I print them out on some clear decal paper and I seal them with some clear acrylic, so that way when I cut them out, put them in the water, the ink won't go everywhere. So my idea is to use some sheet styrene to make some tiny little Eggo boxes and then put the decals on the white boxes after I've made them. So I'm going to stick one side on so I can get the little plastic pieces all the same size. I'm going to try and make 3 of them. It ended up being a bit difficult putting the decals on. I think I overestimated my capabilities, so I only ended up making 2 of them. But you can see how they came out in the end. I'm quite pleased with them, really. Okay, a little bit more reassembly. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, the light bar, the blue side, wasn't quite painted all the way around, so I retouched it all up, and I also painted the middle part silver to make it look a little bit better again. I keep saying that. I've got a little bit more weathering effects that I want to apply to it before I'm finished. So here I'm just masking out where I think the windscreen wipers would go and keep the screen clear. I dug my knife in a little bit too hard. You'll see the result of that at the end of the video. So I've made some decals of the license plates. I'm cutting them out here and I'm going to apply them to some sheet styrene, just give them a little bit more body and definition before I stick them onto the car. Now here comes the challenging Eggo boxes. Cutting the decal out wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be, but getting it to fit onto those little plastic bits of styrene I cut out was, and of course they weren't exactly the right size, so there's a few little gaps, but in the end I'm pleased with the result. Are they perfect? No, but are they a bit of fun? Absolutely. And here's the part where my imbecile brain finally realised, Peter, you should have stuck these little Legos on the seats while they were out of the car, not after you put them in the car, and I was too lazy to pull it apart again, so I just suffered and punished myself as I usually do. So now the license plate decals are dry, I'm cutting them to shape and I'm going to stick them on the car. I realised later that Hopper's Blazer only has a license plate on the back, it doesn't have one on the front, but I put one on the front anyway because they fit so perfectly in the bumper hole. I was really pleased with how they came out, so yes, I've overkilled it. Anyway. Alright, so now I've got everything on it that I want on it. I'm putting some Vallejo dark mud finish on first, and then I'll go over the top with some lighter splash mud. Now, you're not actually supposed to put this in your airbrush. It's not made for an airbrush, but I keep doing it, and then I have to spend a couple of hours rebuilding it and cleaning it out properly. I can't help myself. But now we pull off that tape, have a final inspection, and just like that, we are done. Hooray! So here we are back at the start with our fresh out of the box, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Jada Toys, Stranger Things, Jim Hopper's K5 Chevy Blazer. Its biggest crime is to really look a bit like a child's toy rather than an adult collectible, which I would have thought a Stranger Toys merch would be marketed at. Anyway, I've tried to build something that you can't buy. This is what I started with, and this is what I'm left with now. Ta-da! Looking markedly improved, if I do say so myself. The wheels look a lot more realistic, the grille looks a lot more realistic, even if the headlights are still a bit wonky just from manufacturing. A little bit of weather, a little bit of dust. It actually looks like something Jim Hopper drives now rather than a shiny child's toy. I'd love to see Greenlight or Auto World, one of those other diecast manufacturers, get the Stranger Things license, because they could do amazing things with it. They've already got all the castings. They could do Joyce's Pinto, Billy's Camaro, the Hawkins electric vans. The list is endless. I guess they just have to find out how deep their pockets need to be to get that license from Netflix, because I'm sure they are not giving it away, but it would be amazing for them to get on top of it. So thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed watching this video, why not tell a friend or share it? Give it a thumbs up, ring the bell for alerts, all that standard YouTube stuff. But I really appreciate your support. If you'd like to check out some of my other videos, you can do that by clicking on one of these links. And if you think you might like to subscribe, you can click on my bald head in the middle of your screen and be swept away to a world of PB magic every Friday or second Friday, depending on how busy I am, but always on a Friday sometime. Thank you very much. Stay safe, have a great weekend, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!